Let's go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Last week, we had Holly Schneidewin on the show, and she is the head, owner, president, CEO of Eagle Mortgage and knows that industry so well. And she was talking to us about what's new in home financing, reverse mortgages, market trends. Well, Holly is a wealth of knowledge, not just broadly when she comes here and talks on the show, but also on an individual one-on-one basis. So if you're thinking about buying a house, go talk to Holly or one of her team members, and we'll discuss you'll discuss your situation with them and get a customized solution, because Holly and Eagle Mortgage, they're not a bank. They're a mortgage broker. They work with a variety of banks and can shop the market and find out what is best for you. Their office is located at 114th and Davenport, and you can find them online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, before we get into the news, though, we have another person here who is going to help us report it. And his name is Brad Williams. Brad has been part of the Grow Omaha team for 14 years. And when he's not doing that, he is the owner of Brad Williams Photography and a key employee at E&A Consulting civil engineering firm. Brad, welcome back.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, last time you were here, you were hosting the whole damn show.
Yeah, that was quite the experience.
Yeah,
thanks for that.
We appreciate it, because Trenton and I and our wives and another couple, we were in Mexico having a great time while you were here working and keeping the show afloat, and that was awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was a nervous wreck, but I did a couple days later. I went back and rewatched the show, and it came off a lot better than I thought it did. So it was a good time.
And while you were doing that show, you were also suffering from the ravages of influenza.
Yeah, I just had gotten over it a couple days before that, and I was a mess, but it was a good time.
We were listening internationally, and it sounded good.
You were texting me from Mexico, telling me I'm doing a good job, so that was awesome.
We're like, say this, say that. Nope, don't say that.
No, you guys gave me complete freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. It's awesome that you trust me to do that. And
the show's still here.
Yeah.
And the show's still here, and KFAB still has the FCC license. But good job, Brad. We appreciate it. All right, fellas, let's get into this news. Our first story has to do with tax increment financing. And ladies and gentlemen, before you fall asleep and turn the channel, no, this is really important stuff, because TIF, tax increment financing, drives so much of the real estate development that we talk about, at least that which occurs predominantly east of 72nd Street. And so tax increment financing, very unfortunately, has become an issue in the mayoral campaign lately. And there's been a lot of misinformation about it and a lot of accusations thrown about for political purposes. That happens in political campaigns. We get it, but it's unfortunate. Well, the city commissioned an out-of-town CPA firm, that does all this sort of consulting, to come in and do a thorough study of the use of tax increment financing in Omaha. And we use it a lot. It's our primary financing tool to make urban projects happen that otherwise might not be financially feasible. You see, we do a lot of these TIF programs so that we can build cool things in the city instead of knocking over more agricultural land on the far-flung reaches of the suburban frontier. At any rate, this company is called Forvis Mazars, M-A-Z-A-R-S. How would you pronounce that?
Just like you did.
Forvis Mazars.
Like it sounds.
Anyway, they said that basically everything the city is doing in terms of its use of TIF is consistent and compliant with Nebraska state law, so that's good. They found two small administrative items that had to be fixed, but they were like, how you communicate or post something on a website, and the city took care of that, which is fortunate. So as part of the process, the consulting firm randomly chose 5 TIF projects from 2022 and 2023. One of those was the Mutual of Omaha headquarters, $600 million project at 15th and Farnham that's going to be the tallest building in the city. And at any rate, things looked really good. It's being used properly, and there's no reason to really worry about Omaha using TIF. I want to say one other thing, because a lot of people, they don't really understand. They think, okay, this is just giving money. But the way tax increment financing works is that if I'm going to develop a property in a qualified area, which is usually very urban, I can go ahead and get private loans, and then I can use over the course of, say, 15 years, revenue from the increased value of that property to pay back part or all of these loans. The thing we have to realize, though, is that whatever the value of the property was at the time the TIF was granted, that amount of property tax always is paid. So the city never loses money. Never loses money. And then 15 years, when the TIF loans expire, then the city can start taxing that property owner on the new value. So you never lose what you had, but you gain a lot more. And most importantly, you get projects that otherwise probably would have gone to the suburbs instead of the heart of Omaha.
And that property, number one, wouldn't be developed, and it would just continue to get older and probably a lot less attractive than what's there. The other thing is what they do is they do the cash flows on that 15 years of incremental tax, and the developer goes to a bank or a lender and can monetize that, and that way they can get that money up front in order to work on the project.
Yeah, the other thing is that if you look back at the number of TIF projects the city has had over the last 10 years, it's a big number, and it's really led to a lot of investment. Since 2015, the city of Omaha has approved 196 TIF applications. The resulting total investment from those projects, $4.6 billion. Many of which either wouldn't have happened or would have happened at a smaller scale, or they would have gone to the suburbs.
And there's safeguards too. The city, they have to be built, obviously, or it's not created. There have been times where the city, if they take too long, the city will revoke their approved application, and those people either have to reapply or someone else gets the project.
And that's the nice thing about TIF is it almost has that fail-safe of it's on future valuation of the building. So if they don't build it, I mean, it's not like they're losing anything.
And I just want to let the Grow Omaha listeners know, you're going to hear, and this has been going on for years and years and years, people will use the lack of information that the average voter has about TIF as a weapon against them. And there could be a lot of different motivations politically for that. Maybe it's a campaign thing. Maybe it's because they don't believe in something. Maybe they have some other agenda that they're trying to put forth, or an axe to grind, whatever. When you hear a lot of negative things about TIF or tax increment financing, be suspicious, because the data show that it's not only well managed, it's just a really healthy way of making sure we get cool, blockbuster, big projects in the middle of the city.
If you read our Grow Omaha Facebook comments, you would think the mayor's just walking on the street with bags full of cash, just handing it out left and right to developers, which is totally not true.
Well, think about it. Think about an Omaha without the one serious vehicle, tax increment financing for projects in these urban areas. If we got rid of that, or it gets abused or whatever, we don't have a lot of incentives.
Yeah, without it, you'd pretty much have a hollow shell in the middle of downtown, and as opposed to the progress we're making. And then I think finally, last thing I'd like to say about this issue, because it's an important issue, a lot of times the people that live on the more far-flung suburban parts of the city of Omaha say, well, why do I care if good things are happening downtown? Study after study and actual results from real cities across the country have proven over and over that as the core of the city goes, so goes the whole city when it comes to economic health. If you want to have a great city with a lot of jobs, a lot of entertainment, a lot of recreation, a lot of retail and restaurant, and a lot of ability to recruit and retain young people to your city, you've got to have a strong core. If the core rots, eventually the whole city goes away. Look at Detroit. It all started in the center, and eventually the whole city went to hell. Look at St. Louis, same problem. Got to keep the core of your city strong, even if you live in the suburban part of the city.
And the city's doing a good job with that, and with the master planning and the approved projects down there, and all the apartments that are going up down there, multifamily.
A couple other quick stories also related to the city of Omaha. More than 150 lane miles of City of Omaha streets will be resurfaced or replaced this year as part of Omaha's Street Preservation Fund. Now, this was the program that started when the voters approved a $200 million bond issue in 2020. And so basically this bond issue was the first thing we had in a long, long time that actually covered a substantial amount of repair and resurfacing. Before that, what we were mostly doing with streets were just widening projects or patching potholes. So now we're getting to the point where I think it is, you guys may remember this, but I think the plan is that once every 20 years, every street in the city gets resurfaced or repaired, like
Sounds about
replaced,
right.
which is pretty ambitious. At any rate, the 2025 program, so our fifth year of this, has a total of 41 projects, including 21 major street resurfacing projects, 10 residential project areas, and a lot of these residential neighborhoods that are doing like street after street within a subdivision that they're resurfacing or repairing. And then a bunch of other things. They're even doing 2 Brick Street repair projects, one of which is a stretch of the old Lincoln Highway. So as usual, you will see a lot of roadblocks this year, but that's good because we got to fix these streets that have been long neglected. And finally, guys, the Omaha Sports Commission this week announced that Omaha is the newest host for the USA Crit National Cycling Race. It'll be held in the Aksarben area on May 17th. It'll be known as the Aksarben Turk, TIRC, which is crit backwards. And a crit is short for a criterium, which is a short loop bike race on a closed road. Now, this thing is expected to attract 500 participating athletes and 3,000 people. So it'll be a nice thing, and it's not a one-off. The Omaha Sports Commission is going to do this every year.
So this is our Formula One, like Vegas has Formula One. We're going to have this.
It's our Tour de France.
See.
All right. That's your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.